Georgia State! To Georgia State!
Sitting here again talking about the same things.
Well, unlike Josh Heupel on the road, we are here and we showed up today. Welcome, everybody, to another grand old episode of the FBS Report. And I can guarantee you this. This past week, there has been a lot of FBS. And if you don't know what that means, Red, why don't you go ahead and tell them?
Fucking bullshit! Holy fuck!
There's a whole lot of BS. Yeah, great to have you back, man. You were off last week due to a sickness. Seems to have not beaten you, and that's good to hear. That's good to see, even.
No, sir. I was praying to the porcelain throne all day last Monday, and the Lord was merciful with me in that regard. Eventually, by like 6 o'clock that evening, so I made it, bitch. Oh, it's good to be back. And, man, what a fucking weekend of football it was this past week. From clear through, like, the entire week, even with weekday Conference USA starting Tuesday all the way through Saturday night, late into 2 a.m. Eastern time. It was a madhouse.
Oh, no. Never gave us a break all through the entire week. In fact, we even got some action yesterday, too, and we're going to get into that and a whole lot more today on the FBS Report. And why don't we start off? I guess we'll start off with the biggest news of the week, and that's something I think everybody sort of expected. It's and this hurts my heart. You know me. This hurts my heart, and it hurts the heart of a lot of people, especially if you're a hater of the Florida Gators like I am.
Yeah,
we had to say goodbye to the tenure of our good friend Billy Napier, for he has finally been canned from the University of Florida. Now, they did mention that they were going to probably do so after the Mississippi State game, regardless of whatever happened. But it is very funny to me that he gets fired after a win. It's just like Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. It was such a letdown from the start to finish that, like, once we got the money, that's it. You're gone. You're out. And that's exactly what they did to our good friend Billy Napier from the University of Florida. And again, my heart hurts because, well, that's going to be a running gag that is going to end after this week now that he is canned. The only hope that we have is that he's a pretty young guy. So something tells me he's not done. He's not done. This isn't his last hurrah in the college football world. It's just a matter of where he goes.
He'll be back. I got no doubt about that. And I think there's a lot of reasons why they finally did it this weekend and they didn't wait till the end of the season. Because, on the surface, it's like, what the fuck? They beat Mississippi State, who was kind of hot to start the year. They've cooled off the last couple of weeks as they got into conference play. But they're a fairly decent team. Like, what the hell went wrong? It was a foregone conclusion, I think, after that string of games. And I think especially once they lost, I think, to Miami, and they lost to Texas Tech, and then the way they lost to LSU. It was going to happen eventually. Not Texas Tech, Texas A&M. It was going to happen eventually. The question was when. And I think you look at the schedule, they're on a bye week this week. Then they have to go play Georgia and Jacksonville. So you don't have to deduce too hard what the reasoning was there. They waited until the next open date, the last open day of the season, where they're not playing any games, and it would allow plenty of time for an interim coach to get a new system in and try to, get some shit moving, maybe pull off a miracle and upset Georgia, but really just kind of reset and try to salvage something for the remainder of the season. I think a little bit had to do with the buyout, a little bit, waiting for the boosters and alumni checks to clear. But I think on the other end, it's also strategic. Like, okay, let's get him gone where we don't have to play immediately after we fire him so the players have time to decompress.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny to me, and this goes to the Florida program as a whole. It's just funny to me how quickly things got out of control the moment the shoot throw happened. The moment that this happened right here.
Yeah, that was
that was the moment. That was, you know what that was? You know what that was? That shoot throw right there. You know what that was for him?
What was it?
That was right there. That was basically the Florida equivalent of the final college football playoff poll back in 23 for Florida State.
Ooh, what a comparison. The Seminole fans are going to be fucking pissed if they could be on the show right now. And
well, it's the truth. It was the moment the program and the era as a whole for Mike Norvell bit the dust, and we'll talk about that sooner than later. But, yep, that's the end of the Billy Napier era for Florida.
It can be difficult sometimes to pinpoint when a college football run for a team being actually decent, where it actually ends. I mean, I think the shoe throw, you could point to that, but I don't know. I would dare say that loss to fucking, who was it last season? Texas A&M for me. That opening week loss, the second week loss against Texas A&M, I think it was. That was the first sign of like, oh, the end times are coming, because A&M was not good at all. It was either that or Miami.
If you really want to, Miami. I think if you really want to pinpoint a time where you knew it was completely over and there was no hope of coming back, it was the moment South Florida was treading down the field on him and they kicked the game-winning field goal to beat him in Gainesville. That was the moment you knew there was literally no way he was making it through the season. Think about it. I mean, he beat Texas. But that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to convince anybody that he was sticking around, and we were all right.
Because Texas is a mess. It's point blank. I mean, we'll get to them, I'm sure, a little bit there as well, but like, they're a fucking mess. And if there's anything to defend the loss to South Florida, they're probably going to be the Group of 5 playoff contestant this year, because I mean, Alex Golish has taken something, chicken salad and turned it into chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad there in Tampa. I mean, they're a really fucking good team.
Well, you can wrap it up like this, man. It's gonna be weird when Florida gets their new head coach, Lane Kiffin. So it's gonna be weird when that happens. Literally, if they do not get Lane Kiffin and they go with somebody else, that would be the funniest moment to me, because that just all it does is prove my point about Scott Strickland. Because you have him, you can never guarantee that the next hire you're going to make is going to be a good one, and more than likely it's going to be a bad one.
I'm not buying quite yet of the Lane Kiffin to Florida rumors. I'm going to definitely just say, let's see where Ole Miss finishes this season. If Ole Miss actually makes the playoffs and makes a run, he's going to fucking stay. Nothing's going to take him away if they actually make a little bit of a run. But if they miss out again, he'll rage quit and go south. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Kiffin will not leave until he literally feels like he cannot win at this program, and then he'll fuck off and go south.
Right.
That's my thought.
I mean, it'd be surprising to me. I mean, one thing we know for sure is that this coaching carousel is going to be absolute cinema. Yeah. Because all these job openings are already there, and we're just halfway through the season. There's still so many more coaches that are getting ready to get canned. The Auburn job is probably going to be open by the time we get to the end of the season. There's a possible chance North Carolina's job is going to be open. There's a possible chance Florida State is going to be open. There's a possible chance Nebraska is going to be open, and not because Matt Rule's going to get fired. Yeah, because he's the top guy for Penn State. We'll get to that, momentarily as well. But there are so many job openings. I think one that we could end up seeing if things go too much worse for him is Rutgers. Rutgers is in a bad way right now too. Don't forget Rutgers.
Yeah.
Now again, I think they're going to have to hire from down below. But you got them, Kentucky. I mean, UAB's got to find a new guy. Oklahoma State's got to find a new guy. A Boston College, I guarantee you they're getting ready to fire Bill O'Brien. Wisconsin, I don't know what in the world Wisconsin's waiting on. Your guess is as good as mine there.
I can tell you what I think they're waiting on. They might actually give Fickle another season because the schedule they had this year was a goddamn minefield.
Not if they go 2-10. If they go 2-10, I highly doubt that.
They've also been injured to absolute hell. They've had like how many quarterbacks start this season for them? The team is an absolute fucking mess. And that's not something you can directly blame on Luke Fickell. If everybody was healthy and they were still bad, okay, you could make a guess there. But I think based on what I have, like the video I made about Wisconsin earlier this year and just the general vibe that I'm getting from what I'm seeing and their overall performance, I don't think they're ready to give up on Fickell yet, especially with the buyout to consider, because he has so many good excuses to say it's not my fault, even though he probably can't say that with a straight face.
Well, while we're on the topic of job openings, another one did open up over the weekend, and that was due to the firing of Norvell. And not the one you were all hoping for. Jay Norvell, the head coach of Colorado State, has been canned following a 31-19 loss to Hawaii at home. And it's a bowl-eligible Hawaii, so it isn't even necessarily a bad loss. But it's one that Colorado State as a program needed, and they couldn't get it. They fall short of that expectation. So goodbye to Mr. Jay Norvell of Colorado State. Whoever they're going to get is a complete mystery.
They're not related, by the way.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
Appreciate the $10 super chat by Kevin. Says, curious to ask who you predict will be the next coach. Do you expect to be left from the cutting room? Okay, let me reread this because I'm stupid. Curious to ask who you predict will be the next coach. Do you expect to be left on the cutting room floor, gentlemen? Okay, so I didn't misread it.
Getting fired? No, it's basically who the fuck do we think is going to get fired next?
Oh, Luke Fickell. Gotta be Luke Fickell. They're 0-4 in the Big Ten. They've gotten shut out the last 2 weeks. I don't care how many injuries you have. It's completely inexcusable. It's either going to be that or it's going to be Bill O'Brien at Boston College. I don't know. Boston College, as bad as Wisconsin is, Boston College is even worse. Got beat at home by UConn, and they're 1-6. They're 1-6. I don't know what they're waiting on. There's no miraculous comeback that's getting ready to happen. They're 1-6, and their next team, they got to go play Louisville on the road. You're done. GG's. Yeah, season's over.
I think
they still got to play. Yeah, they still got to play Notre Dame, SMU, and Georgia Tech. I mean, it's over. GG's. Bye-bye.
I'm actually going to throw out a wild card there, and you're going to be kind of like, what? And you're like, oh, when I say this, whoever the head coach is at UMass is next. That program is an absolute shit show. You lose a ball game like that to Buffalo. You pick the ball off with under a minute to go in the game. Get yourself an unsportsmanlike penalty that puts your assholes on the fucking goal line. You go 3 and out, and Buffalo scores a touchdown in 20 seconds. I'm sorry. Your ass needs to go. There's if UMass has any sort of fucking credibility as an athletics program with all the money they put into that fucking football team, they'd fire his ass tomorrow, middle of the week. But they won't because they're cowards. I would say if there's any coach that should be fired next, it should be UMass's head coach. But he probably won't be because they're so bad. Who's gonna fucking care, right? Who are you gonna hire? You can't poach it in the Sun Belt. Who's going to go to UMass?
But here's what I do know is that we're getting the Super Bowl on November 4th. UMass is traveling to Akron.
And I'm going to be there.
Century. Yeah, oh my goodness. They're going to put you on the side. If they have any sense, here's what I'm telling you, man. If they have any sense, Akron is going to let you be put on the sideline of that game. And they're going to let you do it like Bordeaux did at the Tennessee-Georgia game. And it's like that let you sit there and commentate it from the sideline. That's what they need to do. Because I think legitimately that would give them some publicity. Go ahead.
Funny story about that, actually. I emailed them and I said, hey, I do this. I make a YouTube channel, and you guys have been a prominent part of my YouTube channel. We're a little small, but we're growing. And I emailed them and I said, would you mind if I could get some sort of sideline pass or just how that would go about? If I need to pay for it, I'll fucking pay for it. But how would I go about doing this? You know what they said? Nothing. I haven't fucking heard from them. They ghosted me. bastards.
Yeah,
I'm
not.
I was going to be nice and give them some praise if they had allowed me a chance to go onto the sidelines at InfoCision, the hollowed grounds of InfoCision State. But it's Summer Field, I think it's called.
Well, there's still plenty of time. Yeah, there's still plenty of time. Don't count it out just yet.
I doubt
there's
they
still
do.
an opportunity.
I'll buy a ticket. It's general admission on the visitor side of the stadium, for fuck's sake. I'll just buy a fucking ticket and go in. But I will be there, and I will document it, and I will give you my brutally honest opinions, because I do not fucking like UMass a goddamn bit, and I actually kind of like Akron out of pity. So I got a little bit of an interest here, but it's just going to be a goofy ass. Maybe some live vlogging, but it's just be a goofy ass vlog, more than likely, because I don't have the battery in this thing to just do a live stream in person at the stadium. Plus, I'd probably get in trouble for that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, though.
Yeah, some exec from ESPN is going to come up and be like, "Listen, dude, it's Tuesday Night Action. Why the fuck are you doing this? We literally, what is the matter with you?"
God, yeah, that's right. That game's on a Tuesday. It didn't even really hit me.
Yeah, I'm taking the day off of work after that. No, I'm not going to work next morning. Fuck.
Yeah. No. It feels like you need to take like a month off of work after watching that. Good luck.
That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be cinema. All right. Well, anyway, let's get into. We're already 20 minutes into the show, so let's go ahead and get into some of these games, shall we? Because we got a deep dive into the tomfoolery, and I guess we'll start off with Friday night, because we had a lot of big teams go down this past weekend, and two of them were in the top 5. And we're going to start out with what happened on Friday night. Guess what? We've been talking about this ever since they became the front runner of the ACC. All they had to do was not crystal it up. And you know what they did to us, Red? They daggum crystal balled it up. They go down at home. Well, okay, at the Dolphin Stadium, so in a neutral site. They go down to the Louisville Cardinals, and a huge upset is the number 2 ranked team, 24-21. Carson Beck didn't just have a trademark day. He literally had his trademark day. No touchdowns, 4 interceptions, including the game-winning one in the red zone when they had the chance to kick the field goal and to go into overtime. You can't think of a more crystal ball Carson Beck way. It's like the match made in heaven. You've got the 2 biggest choke artists on the same sideline together. It's beautiful. It's cinema, truly.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to be mad at Mario Cristobal in this one because I despise that motherfucker. He is not a good head coach. He just inherits a great team every fucking year and somehow convinces enough kids to go to Miami because it's fucking, Miami. It's cool. Vice City, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, this loss isn't so much on Cristobal. It's on Carson Beck, 100%. Mm-hmm. You threw 4 fucking interceptions, including one in the red zone in the dying seconds of the game to try to take it overtime. You could not own a loss any fucking harder than Carson fucking Beck in this game. I don't have to explain it. He was off the entire game. The 4 interceptions. And by the way, that last interception, whoever that fucking corner was that grabbed it, I
think it was TJ. I think pretty sure it was TJ Capers.
Big fingers. My God.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Beautiful interception. It's not like Miami didn't try. I mean, they gave the offense every fucking opportunity to win this game. Mm-hmm. The second to last drive they had was a touchdown because the defense did the absolute most perfect forced fumble that would make a defensive coordinator weep with joy. Helmet right on the ball, popped out, all over the floor like a fucking wet pig, and next play, touchdown. That looks so good. Not even fucking UMass would have screwed it up. So, the defense did great in that respect. Miller Moss is a tough cookie to stop. He's really difficult to shut down. So I'm not going to get on the defense. It's just if Carson Beck doesn't throw 4 picks, Miami totally wins this game. But because he threw 4 picks, Fuck, if he only threw 3 picks, they might have won this game. But nope, it was 4 picks, and that's why they fucking lost. Not because of Mario Cristobal not taking a knee, because Carson Beck forgot how to throw a fucking football.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things can be taken from this one. One is Chris Bell is a man. We all know that. Chris Bell is a big man. And he's only like 20-something. And yeah, no, he is. He's an absolute man, that's for sure. Peep the stat right here. Miami could not run the ball in any single capacity, forced Carson Beck to do all the work. Ruben Bain had a terrible day. He only had 1 tackle. They shut him down completely. So I guess we found the key to stop, keeping Miami's defense at bay. But one thing's for certain, if you're a Cavender twin, you got to feel extra vindicated right now because Carson Beck came on after that loss and basically in the press conference did the Shedeur Sanders route of putting the entire team under the bus by basically saying, oh, it's all the wide receivers' fault. It's all the wide receivers' fault. I threw 4 picks. No! What? 4 picks? How's that the receivers' fault? It's insane, and I get it. And like that last pick, I think that was way more of just a dog move by the corner there.
No, it's not.
By TJ Capers. It's half and half. I do think that was more of a dog move right there. It was a risky throw in a bad situation. So I'm even willing to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But some of those other picks were just him being completely stupid. The arm punts that he had, it just made absolutely no sense. So, yeah, Miami, as Alatron just said, Miami got on the 7th floor. And, well, now they haven't blown the entire season just yet, but the road to the playoffs looks a whole lot darker now. And it's only a matter of time, I feel like, before they truly do Cristobal it up.
Goddamn, I just remembered I wanted to put the 7th floor crew rap in my next Chaos video. Now I'm going to fucking do it. By the way, you want to talk about men. Malachi Toney from Miami is a fucking man. Dude had a great night despite Carson Beck. 135 yards passing or receiving yards. Like, they could not shut his ass down. And that's the other reason why I'm like, if it wasn't for Beck throwing the 4 picks, he could have gotten Malachi Toney in the end zone. Like, that's the dude fucking was on Friday night. Just wish he was on a better team.
Yeah. No, really wishes he's on a better team. That's a great way of putting it. You want to know who's also a man? We're going to talk about our next game here. You want to know who's also a man? Drake Lindsay of Minnesota. They finally have a pass. They finally have some sort of passing game, and the boat was definitely rowed in this one. The only silver lining I can find as a Nebraska fan, for you Cornhusker fans watching, literally the only silver lining was that this was not a close game. You did not lose in a close game this time. Nebraska beat the ever-living piss out of y'all from start to finish, and it was no competition for any point. The fact that they have a passing game opened up the run game too. Darius Taylor was out there just running all over them fools, as Minnesota running backs usually do on Nebraska. And Dylan Mahomes, it looked less like Dylan Mahomes was going up against your typical AFC defense. And it looked like it was battling the Eagles, because that's exactly what I saw out of that one. Just a bad day for him overall. They couldn't run the ball in any capacity. And probably the most stunning part about it all is that this poor Dylan Mahomes, he was running for his life the entire game. He got sacked 9 times. Now gone 9 times against Minnesota's defense. It's absolutely crazy to think about. I mean, 9 times. He got sacked 9 times. There were 3 different players on Minnesota's defense with at least 2 of those sacks. Crazy stat to think about, but it's the truth. Just absolutely terrible Nebraska offensive line performance. TwitchCon had better defense than Nebraska did. I'll tell you that much. It was just absolutely awful. But yeah, it's just a bad day.
God damn it.
I did, and it's the truth.
Oh, fucking TwitchCon, you dumb motherfuckers. Oh, God.
Just like Nebraska's O-line.
Jesus, yeah. This was literally the tale of 2 games. Drake Lindsay, he didn't have the most impressive stats in the world. He didn't have to. He played absolutely excellent, very accurate when he was needed, when he was called upon. And Darius Taylor just fucking wiped the floor with everybody. 9 sacks on Little Mahomes. 9 fucking sacks. I shit you not. they were distracted, I think, because Matt Rule was probably going to fuck off at the end of the season. That's the only thing I could. Nebraska, okay, they could be a little injured. They could be this. They could be that. They were distracted as fuck. The bullshit surrounding Nebraska right now with Matt Rule potentially leaving for Penn State. If Nebraska was smart, they would have re-signed his ass to a long-term extension immediately once James Franklin got fired, like fucking Indiana did, because Indiana had no problem taking care of Michigan State on Saturday, and Cignetti was in the fucking vortex of potentially being named as a successor at Penn State for about a day and a half, and then Indiana shut that shit down like Fort Knox. If Nebraska was smart, they would get Matt Rule to recommit now publicly so the players would calm the fuck down and refocus on the rest of the season, because this is just Minnesota's a good team. Like PJ Fleck, one of the most underrated head coaches in all of the Big Ten. I will give that man a lot of props. He is overlooked a lot. What?
Keep in mind they're 5-2 right now. They've got three chances to blow it. You do realize that. This is the 7-5 merchant right here. We got to hold off on that until they win 8 games.
I know. Okay, you want to look at their schedule, see what they got left?
I'm sure it's probably some other Big Ten West
I'm talking
fodder.
Historically speaking, mainly PJ Fleck is one of the most underrated head coaches because he has consistently gotten the Gophers, to a good season. Okay, Iowa, probably going to be a win. Michigan State, definitely win. Oregon, probably lost. Northwestern, win. Wisconsin, 4 fucking wins right there. They could finish 9-3.
Boy, wouldn't that be something? Minnesota at 9-3 and ranked in the final AP poll. That would have a lot of people crapping all over themselves. In fact, that would have Penn State reconsidering who to hire.
Unfortunately for Penn State, PJ Fleck's on lock. They just re-signed his ass before the season to a long-term extension.
Smart idea.
But
Matt Rule really made a good resume with this performance.
No shit, right? Like, why would they? He's Penn State probably doesn't even want him in reality. People are looking at his ties with being a Penn State linebacker in the mid-90s and his friendship with the athletic director and thinking he could probably go there. But he's not a national championship winning coach. He is a rebuilder. He is not a maintainer. Penn State doesn't really need a rebuild. They got the tools there. They just need someone that knows how to put the fucking puzzle together. Mm-hmm. And that's not what Matt Rule does best. He's better off staying at Nebraska long term and for his career, if you want to ask me what I fucking think he should do. But hey, it's not my fucking call, and I don't write the checks. Sorry, Huskers.
No, we'll keep tabs on that. Husker fans better just stay puckered for the remainder of the season. You have no idea how it's going to pan out. That's all I could really tell you.
Maybe the Lions are trying real hard to shove a corn cob up their ass, and Nebraska's not letting them.
Yep. Wouldn't it be the first time they lost in a close one? Well, we got to go to the next game here, and I'm not surprised. I tried to pull off the reverse jinx, and I think I'll keep that running for the remainder of the season. But guess what? Dadgun Rebels let me down, and it was in typical Mickey Mouse fashion too. Literally Mickey Mouse fashion as always. It was another one of these SEC games where ref ball just sort of made it all about themselves. And that's not to say, obviously, that's not me saying it's biased in any sort of way. They just really, but they bet everybody over as they per the usual do. And then Ole Miss put it upon themselves in the fourth quarter to bend themselves over. Lane Kiffin doing as Matt Rule just did and creating a great resume by completely choking against Georgia. And it's no surprise here. This is what the Bulldogs are known for. That's why I call them Mickey Mouse. They literally always find a way to pull magic out of their ass in the final seconds of the game. And that was no different here. Kirby Mouse is just pulling out all the magic stops. Gunnar Stockton had a phenomenal performance with 4 touchdowns. He had a QBR of almost 100. Trinidad Chambliss did his best to try and compete with that, but you could tell that definitely towards the end that the gas was starting to wear off for Ole Miss, especially since the run game shut down. Georgia just completely boxed in every single thing that they tried in that last quarter, and they had no options left. And then, of course, the Dogs pulled it together, got the jump on them, and then won the game by 8. And, phenomenal weekend for me. Yeah, not really. But it was another great day for the Georgia defense, another great day for the Dogs overall. And putting up this many points is very uncommon for the Dogs, as I'm sure Georgia fans are all too familiar with, because it's the first time Georgia in a long time has come out and they've won a game this big. Because I mean, they beat Tennessee earlier in the season, but I think this is one that really makes a statement for the Dogs to show that they're not overrated, they're not dead. They're always going to find a way to mouse their way to more Mickey Mousery as they do. So good for them. Congratulations on the win, as per the usual. And Red, you give some unbiased thoughts.
Yeah, I'll give you the unbiased thoughts. I thought Lane Kiffin had Georgia's number for 3 quarters there. I'm not going to bullshit you. Going into the fourth quarter, it was tight, man. It was. Ole Miss scored a touchdown on their first 5 possessions. They were up 35-26 at one point in this fucker. I mean, they owned that Georgia defense the entire game up until the fourth quarter when they got shut down. Could they run the ball? No, but Trinidad Chambliss was making a lot of shit happen, and it was giving Georgia absolutely fits. Flip the script there. Georgia's offense was actually getting stopped at times by Ole Miss because they got forced to kick a couple of field goals at certain points. Now, they didn't have to break out the punter at any point in time during the game, which is a crazy stat to think about, but they still were getting shut down more often than Ole Miss. Ole Miss, like you said, the perfect analyzation to make for it is they ran out of gas. Like Trinidad Chambliss' first road game in the FBS level against Georgia, of all fucking teams. He performed extremely well, all things considered. But, I mean, he's not Superman, and Superman, is going to have a bad day at the office occasionally. He played really well. Georgia eventually figured out how to stop him. And I really do think the comparison with this game and the Tennessee game is pretty apt because Georgia, they got the shit kicked out of them and still got the win. If you think about it, they got the absolute dog shit knocked out of them for 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter is when the defense finally got Chambliss down. They finally swung the momentum just enough to get him to stall out on a few drives, and that's ultimately what the difference maker was. The only reason why Ole Miss lost is because their defense couldn't adjust against Georgia's offense. Georgia's defense could adjust against Trinidad Chambliss eventually. That's it. It was a track meet, and Lane Kiffin fell short about 50 meters from the finish line. So
clutch ball. It was a game of clutch ball at the end. There's no better artists at that than Georgia. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I hate him so much.
Yeah, if you're going to go 12 rounds against an SEC team, you need to have the conditioning to do so. Otherwise, you're just going to get your ass knocked out at the last round. And yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, they're close. I mean, they showed me something. I think that playoffs is still very much a possibility for them, despite the loss. They should be one of probably 4 SEC teams that will likely make it in, to be honest. They got to be 11 or better, considering the group of 5 participant. And I think there's a good chance that they will be, but who the fuck knows at this point?
Right. I missed a super chat, by the way. I wanted to shout out Hendon Hooker Stan with the $2 super chat. It says, who's uglier, Carson Beck or Miami's Duck mascot? I don't know. That's a good one, but that was the worst sellout for Carson Beck I've seen since the fall off of Ice Age. So
oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. I feel like that stray was necessary. All right, well, the Georgia fans might want to stick around. I know I lay into y'all, but there's somebody else I need to lay into, and I won't lay into anybody harder than I will these absolute shit rags right here. And there's no avoiding it now. Here it is. Okay, so I feel
Who's got popcorn, huh? Everybody, grab your fucking kettle corn. Here we fucking go. Gather around, everybody, one and all. Get the kids. Make sure the kids are standing up front so they can hear everything this man's about to say. Please, Squid, enlighten us.
Oh, of course. You don't have to tell me. I already know what I need to do. So you guys know and Red, you may know this, but some of you probably don't unless you're a grown adult with kids. Let me ask you something. Okay. You know that like when like your child will come to you and he'll be like, hey dad, this cool movie just came out. Can we go see it? It's like, oh yeah, sure. Looks pretty fun. All right, we'll go see it. You go to the movie theater, get your popcorn, whatever else, sit there, chew away. You're already halfway through the bucket by the time the movie starts, and then the movie begins, and it is the biggest pile of shit you have ever seen in your life. Literally, you could, like, corn is in it, the flies are all around. It's the worst thing you have ever seen in your life. And you walk out of the movie theater and you're like, well, yeah, never doing that again. I'll tell you that much. And then a year later, hey, Dad, remember that really cool movie that we watched last year? Guess what? There's a sequel. And then you see all the color fly out of your face, and you're like, oh God. Then you're forced to go watch it. And guess what? You thought it was a pile of shit before. Now it's an even bigger pile of shit. The pile has gotten so big it's bigger than the cow pasture itself. Then the next year, same thing. Now there's a third movie that's out. Now you get to watch it again, time and time again. That right there, that entire synopsis is literally the exact same feeling I have when I watch Tennessee go on the road at night. And that's literally what happens every single time. If you watch this game, then you know for certain the same thing that everybody else does. Mm-hmm. And this was a very winnable game for Tennessee. It was two teams battling it out. And while Alabama won the game, smoked the victory cigars early in the fourth quarter, Tennessee beat themselves. And it's nothing new with the Volunteers. They terminally shit themselves in every single time they get into this position. Mental mistakes, constant penalties, just shooting themselves in the foot through turnovers, bad play calling. The defense is a complete and utter joke, and I don't understand. James Pierce Jr., Jermon McCoy must have been like Abdul Carter with Penn State, basically taking the entire team and carrying it on his back, because the defense that we're looking at today for Tennessee is an absolute, complete, and utter joke. It is just a disgusting example of a defense. Here, I have to put this off the screen for a second so I can show you. There's nothing more that pissed me off last night than watching this from the defense, okay? Anybody else that you know, and if you're in college football, and if you ever played the sport of football, then you know that when you play defense and there's a grown man coming at you and you're standing right there, you hug them, you bring them down. That's how you play defense. Here's Tennessee. Right. Here's your average Tennessee defender right here when he sees a grown man coming right at him. Ooh, I'm going to get you by the legs. Ooh, I'm going to get you. Ooh, there he goes. Bye.
Zach,
I'm going to go grab me another friggin' Big Mac. And then the next one comes around. Same thing. Ooh, I'm going to scoop you by the legs. Hope you don't jump over them. Oh no. There he goes again. Uh-oh. Somebody else can go get him. That's what I saw the entire freaking night. And it's not even just one player doing it. Because if it was one player doing it, then okay. Like that stuff happens from time to time. Everybody was doing it. So it's not just a thing to where it's one off player having an off day. They are literally being trained to go for the legs on tackles. Some dumbass in our coaching staff is teaching them to do this. Some styrofoam brain, literally, I don't know what happens, but every time somebody's like, this is what it's like on the sidelines. Hey, Tim Banks, hey, it's third down and $1 billion. What should we call here? And then you go to Tim Banks, and it just inside of his brain, it's like, okay, let me think about it for a second. And then you look inside, and all you see is the monkey with the cymbals. Ding, 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 ding. That's what it is. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's got guys 70 yards down the field, and then every time they threw a screen on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 20, Jermaine Bernard The play was over. He had to run 30 yards down the field in order to get the first down, and there was 3 Tennessee blockers all around him. Not one of them even caught him. They all surround him, and then guess what they do? Oh, gonna get you by the legs. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I think it was Josiah Josephs got to him well before the play even began. He misses the tackle. He misses the tackle. Then he runs all the way. He catches up to him before he gets to the first down marker and misses it again. How do you miss it twice? Absolutely insane. I cannot believe we've gotten to this position. What happened to the defense? It was a national title-winning defense last year. Now it's a group of potatoes. Nothing makes sense. Okay, well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to say this. The Alabama fans deserve that win. They played the better game by far. That pick six at the end of the quarter was pretty much the game on its own right there. Like, that was the game right there. We all knew we weren't coming back from that. Tennessee pissed themselves again on the road. This is nothing new. If you've seen Josh Heupel and the staff on the road, they play scared, they play unprepared, and the moment they go down in any big situation, they're out for the count. So that's our second loss of the season. The schedule from here, we got to play Oklahoma at home. We get Kentucky on the road, and they've already given Texas and Ole Miss trouble, so who knows how that's going to work out. But I'm gonna hold myself to this, and God forbid if this actually happens, especially now that they've went ahead and fired Billy Napier. If we lose to Florida, that's it. Like that is legitimately it. I am sold out on Josh Heupel and the coaching staff past that point. From that point onward, I will be like Florida fans with Billy Napier, and I'll pretty much just be rooting for him to be canned because there's still a path. There's still a path with how bad this was, but nothing's changed. The clock management is absolutely terrible. The reason that pick six at the end of that first half even happened in the first place was because Josh Heupel thought it was a great idea to run the ball first when he had time left, then take the timeout with time to spare. Everybody knew that the supposed trick play that he was going to do was going to be a pass play. I guess it was Zabian Brown. Shout out to him. For making that key play, but he knew well before anybody else did that that's what they were going for. So great awareness by him to make that play, but none of that would have happened had it not been for Josh Heupel's play clock awareness. Some of the worst clock management I've ever seen in my life, and to me, in terms of clock management, it goes Mario Cristobal then Josh Heupel. This is the second time now we've lost a game because of the clock management. And, of course, a little bit more if you watch the game. But it's the second time now we've lost because of that. Nearly blew the Mississippi State game because of it. Let Arkansas come back because of it. I don't know where this is coming from where people are talking about Josh Heupel being a top 10 coach because there's nothing that I'm watching here that says that this is top 10 material. Nothing here. Nothing here says that. So we've got a lot of season, a lot of ball left to play still, but things are not looking like 98. I'll tell you that much.
All right. Well, do you feel better?
Yeah, no. Don't worry. Your turn is coming. Don't worry. You're
not done.
No, I'm saying your turn is coming, and it might come before Michigan. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever, buddy. Thank you, Phoenix, for the 2 donations for $2. Pain, nothing but pain. Why is free still here? I'd rather have a toaster. Oh God! Thank you for the 2 donations, man. You're very much appreciated. And I want to start off my bit of this. I won't take long because, my God, you just made the fucking intro, buddy. That was legendary. Squid from Zap, a good friend of mine. Scenario time. If the Vols indeed fire Heupel and they announce Billy Napier as the next head coach, what would your response be?
At least he can win a road game. In all seriousness, that would be the second dumbest thing I've seen the Tennessee administration do. First in hand to hiring Jeremy Pruitt, but that's we get to that scenario when we get to it. That's all I can say.
I'll make mine short and sweet because I'm going to try to make up for a little bit of lost time here. I am just disappointed that Tennessee is not fully utilizing Joey Aguilar. The dude is just they're just Sean Bishop had a great game here. And I feel like Aguilar, he's got so much fucking potential, man. I'm going to be really curious to see what he does if he makes the NFL and that someone gives him a chance. I really like him as a quarterback. He's really, really good. It's just that it's a damn shame that he is on an offense that doesn't know what the fuck to do with him. If he was playing on any other team that's got, any sort of fucking coaching staff that knows what the hell they're doing, he could be in the Heisman running, I think, here. But alas, he's on Tennessee. I mean, it's better than UCLA, I guess. At least you matter. Unlike a certain someone that went to California over a fucking Maserati and some NIL bullshit, but we're not going to bring that back up again, even though it probably make you feel a little bit better. I think that in general, it's a goddamn shame for Tennessee, but it also, you got to talk a little bit about Bama here. That loss to Florida State week 1, that lit the biggest fucking fire under their asses. Nobody would shut the fuck up that the Bama party is over. And the Bama party, apparently, it's hitting phase 2. It's about to absolutely just I'm nervous now.
Yeah, I mean, we're two people that counted him out.
Yeah, we counted out. I counted Alabama out. I thought they were done. They were washed. DeBoer is going to get out of there. He'll be run out of town. Nope. He's the black hoodie is here to stay.
Mm-hmm. It's about Penn State against UCLA. Thank you for the 2, Katie Novaneko. And Jay Nicolay with the 2, much appreciated, says, towards your therapy bill, talk about trauma. Much appreciated.
That was raw. That was raw emotion right there. That reminded me of when Ohio State lost to Oregon and Michigan last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I felt it. And that's why I laughed so damn hard.
Well, on the bright side, obviously we're losers, but there are losers all across the country, as we all know. One of them being a team that nobody expected to go down this week, and that's a little omen to the death of the Big 12, I guess you could call it. And while the Big 12 isn't necessarily dead, it sure is a pile of chaos right now. Texas Tech, the clear and obvious front runner of the conference, at least up until now. I thought they were top 5, but they were number 7. They have gone down to Sam Leavitt's comeback arc and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Now, keep in mind, Arizona State last week against Utah, they they looked absolutely terrible with Jeff Sims at the helm. Mm-hmm. So if Sam Leavitt ever gets hurt again, oh boy, the season's cooked. But they had their little mulligan. Sam Leavitt comes back, and he immediately went to work on the Red Raider defense. I haven't seen a quarterback pick apart the defense like that, and a lot of that can be contributed to Jordan Tyson and rising hero Jaron Hamilton coming in to save the day too. It was a great performance overall by the wide receivers. Great performance overall by Sam Leavitt, and it looked like at the end the Red Raiders are going to sort of make a comeback and then find a way to prevail. But no, Arizona State goes on a clutch drive at the end there, seals the deal, and the Sun Devils throw the Big 12 in disarray with this one. Great performance by them overall.
Indeed. I really loved watching this game. I know it's hard to watch these games when we had so many big ones going on at the same time. Obviously, you had Georgia and Ole Miss duking it out on one corner of my YouTube TV, and then suddenly I'm looking in different games, and I see that Arizona State's up 9-0, 9-7 on there, Texas Tech. I knew that Tech was going to have a hard time against Arizona State because Baron Morton was not starting at quarterback today. You had Will Hammond, your backup quarterback, starting for Texas Tech. Right away, that sets alarm bells off because Baron Morton is about one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. And if he's not playing, that's not good in any sense of the word. He literally, props to Hammond for the effort. He didn't do awful, but he definitely didn't do great either. He made some plays late, got a touchdown late to try to get Texas Tech back into this one. But in a game against Arizona State with Jordan Tyson and Sam Leavitt, it doesn't matter what you throw against them. Tyson's going to get 100 yards on your ass. And when you're doubling up Jordan Tyson, there goes Jaron Hamilton wide the fuck open, right? Here comes Mateer wide the fuck open. Oh, Raleigh Brown, he'll gash you for about 3 yards, 4 yards of carry if you're not watching. There's Arizona State. I joked last week when they lost. I said, oh, man, they're really missing Scatabo right about now, aren't they? This is the game where they kind of made me eat a little bit of shit here because no, they reverted back to the Big 12 crash the party for them when they made the playoff last year. This is the kind of game that you look at if you're the Sun Devils and you say, all right, our only chance of making the playoffs now is to fucking win out and hope some bullshit happens. But it's the Big 12. Some bullshit's bound to happen. And this is a prime example of some bullshit happening. Now, I'm sure we're probably going to talk about BYU. Cincinnati's above them here. They're also undefeated in conference play. So there's a lot of heavy hitters above them right now. But anything's fucking possible in this conference. As you well know, we could have a 4, 5, 6 team horse race when we get down to the final week of the season here if shit just doesn't fucking change, which I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's just going to be BYU, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech in the running towards the end of the season for the Big 12 crown. Somebody's going to sneak up and try to be a fucking dark horse here. It's the most entertaining conference in all of college football. And you say the death of the Big 12. I don't think that this is a bad thing. I think the fact that the Big 12 is so fucking entertaining is what's going to help save it. It makes great ratings.
That's chaos conference, yeah. That's chaos conference for you. That's what they do best.
Indeed. At least, they're fucking better than the ACC. You know what I mean? At least everybody's about the same.
Yeah, everybody better than the ACC. That gun tank conference, yeah.
Yeah. And, Z-Man in the comments said BYU just to play Cincinnati and Texas Tech this season. So BYU, but right now BYU's back in the front running for the Big 12, which I don't think many people. I certainly didn't expect it. I wrote off BYU in the offseason like a lot of people did. They're strong. They're 7-0. Yeah, we need to dive into the Holy War a little bit because I got some things to say about their quarterback. But yeah,
why don't we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out real quick.
Since we're on the topic of the Big 12, might as well give the Holy War a little love since College Game Day didn't decide to do that.
I was one of those people that sent BYU to the afterlife after they lost Retzlaff to Tulane and they let him leave. I did not realize they had a fucking bear in their arsenal because holy shit, Bachmeier. This kid is insane. He's a freshman quarterback, for God's sake, and he went out there playing like a fifth-year senior. He absolutely destroyed this Utah defense. It was a close game for 3 fucking quarters, but man, when the rubber met the road in the fourth quarter, he did not bend an inch. He is the reason they won this fucking game, and he's the reason that BYU honestly could make a run for the fucking playoffs at this point. They're 15th in the nation. They're the top team in the Big 12 right now. He's a dual threat quarterback in the best sense of the word. It also doesn't hurt that you got LJ Martin lighting up for 122 rushing yards. Because good goddamn. I mean, Bachmeier wasn't the only one rushing the ball. I'm stunned. And granted, Utah, they've been up and down this season. They've been kind of rebuilding, and they're doing a really good job of bouncing back this year behind Devin Dampier. But it's nuts to think about how well a guy that was going to be the backup quarterback this season is actually playing. You never know when you're going to hit gold with these teams, man. It's crazy.
You never do. But no, they put up a great performance especially at the end there. The clutch ball came through in the clutch for them at the very end of that ball game. And who would have thought the field goal would have made that big of a difference? But this was a defensive brawl all the way from the start till the end. Really fun one to watch if you were up that late, which but no, it was a really, really fun game. The Holy War is always a fun one, and you can immediately tell it because of the color rush uniforms. I love the fact that they do that. One of the funnest things about that. I know LJ Martin had a great day. So did Daniel Bray. It was a pretty even battle overall. 2 offenses battling it out, but the field goal made all the difference. And because of their status and the fact that Texas Tech has fallen, the Cougars are the front runner for the Big 12 right now. How long it'll stay that way? Not a clue. That's the thing
Give
about
it
the
a
Big
week.
12. Nobody's ruled out. Nobody's ruled out. No upset is too big.
I give it a week. It's gonna get
give it
jumbled
a
up
week.
next week. I promise you, it's gonna get jumbled up again very soon. It ain't gonna last long. There's gonna be fucking Iowa State could come back. Who the hell knows at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, it's insane to think about. And I love the Big 12, man. It's the fact that they survived and the Pac-12 didn't. I think honestly, even though the Pac-12 didn't. We all wrote off Big 12 as the sick man of college football. No, in reality, they went to an insane asylum and came back fucking crazy. So it's the best thing for college football's Power Four right now is the Big 12.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. You know what else is really great for college football? Brian Kelly losing.
Yes.
Now this was two evils going up against each other in my eyes, Diego Pavia and Brian Kelly. But it's like one evil is bigger than the other, and the lesser evil was the one that came through in the clutch. Vanderbilt wins at home as a favorite, by the way, against LSU, top 10 LSU, and Vandy proved in this game that they're not just this isn't an upset. And it isn't an upset in any capacity. No. They proved in this game that they are here and they are here to stay. Because not only did they win this game as favorites, they didn't even rush the field. They didn't even rush the field for it. They didn't even do that single line field rushing thing that Vandy did that one time they beat Florida. No, they won the game. They cheered, they celebrated, didn't rush the field. They've proven that they're the real deal. 6-1 now, and they control their own destiny for the playoffs and a whole lot more. They're bowl eligible, but they're going to be looking for a whole lot more as the season progresses. And it's just crazy to see that the Commodores of all teams are in this position. And now we're heading into this week where in the AP top 10, you've got Indiana, Vanderbilt, and Georgia Tech all ranked in the top 10. Has there ever been a moment in the history of college football where we've seen anything like this? I don't think we have.
The 50s, maybe the 1950s. If you want to go back that far, that might be a chance. But like that was a clusterfuck back then. I knew Vanderbilt was going to win this game. I will not hesitate in saying that. I said as much a couple of weeks ago after they lost to Alabama. I even said in my Chaos video, I think Vanderbilt's got a good shot of beating LSU. And the reason why is a couple of things. Vanderbilt's offense is just fucking lethal. Diego Pavia, when he's not talking a bunch of shit and he's actually fully focused, one of the best quarterbacks to ever fucking do it in this game, bar none, point blank. They got a dynamic pairing with him and how do you pronounce his fucking name? Young, the running back, Cedric Alexander. They can run the ball down your throat if you're not paying attention. Everyone looks at Diego Pavia like, oh, he's a great passer, he's a great quarterback. He can also run it up your ass, along with the other running backs. On the other side of it, LSU is fraudulent as fuck. We all know this. We've known this. If there was a great get-right game for Vanderbilt, and that's a sentence I've never said in my life, after the Alabama loss, it was LSU. Why? We know they can't defense. Garrett Nussmeier has regressed hard this season. He threw 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had himself a good game, statistically, but he was getting harassed all afternoon by the Vanderbilt defense. He was getting knocked on his ass more times than I care to admit. I don't even know what the sack numbers were, but he was getting harassed the entire game. And the LSU receiving core, they couldn't bail his ass out because Vanderbilt's defense just smothered them. I mean, smothered them. And you're absolutely right, Squid. Vandy proved the state. The win against Alabama last year was the sign that Vanderbilt had arrived. This win against LSU is the sign that they're here to stay, and they're going to be here for a while, I think, because you look at, sure, you're going to lose Diego Pavia after this season. Godspeed, good sir. But guess what? Guess what he created? The culture. The culture is actually damn good at Vanderbilt.
Oh, he said the thing. He said the thing.
It's damn good at Vanderbilt right now. And there's one, and if there's another thing Vanderbilt has, rich ass donors. That NIL money is fucking free flowing right now. And I
truly a development. A massive development for Vandy.
I guarantee you that recruits will be flooding to Nashville. You're going to have transfers and freshman recruits flooding to Nashville after the season with everything that they've done, short of their head coach getting poached by Penn State or Florida. Okay. But then again, Vanderbilt's got the money to pay his ass. They'll probably do it in Indiana and sign his ass.
Clark Lee, and Clark Lee's also a Vanderbilt man. He's a lot like he's a lot like Cignetti in that position.
Yeah. He's not beholden to the next highest caller for money. He's committed to that school, especially after everything he did there. They're going to build a fucking statue for him. They'll build a statue for him, for Pavia, for the fucking mascot, whoever they have. Everybody involved in this resurrection of Commodores football.
Kevin Von Magen with the 5 says LSU is one of 2 FBS teams yet to score 25 or more points versus an FBS opponent. North Carolina is the other. Yeah,
North Carolina, I'm not surprised by, but LSU hasn't scored more than 20. Oh, you know what? Oh, they did play like shit against Florida. I remember.
They play like voodoo sneaky against everybody not named FCS. So there you go.
I think they hung 50 on Long Island. That's about it.
BK, we ain't got away. We suck. All right. Well, let's do our weekly shoutouts before we get into week 9, shall we? Cannot believe we're already to week 9. A lot has happened since, but let's get our shout outs out of the way. First off, shout out to Cal for getting things right on Friday night by beating up on this poor staff of AIDS that you call North Carolina. Jordan Hudson's wife goes down again. Just another sad, pathetic, ugly performance. JKS got it right, even though his wide receivers let him down, with the exception of Jacob DeJesus, as I call him. Yeah, but no, great win for Cal. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah. Why are you still starting Gio Lopez, guys? What the fuck are you doing? He's trash.
Look at everybody else they got. I mean,
I know, but you want to have the most polished turd out there if you're only got turds, right?
Yeah, well, if Max Johnson breaks a toenail, he's out for the season. So,
that's fucking bro.
I mean, that it's a lot like Cam Rising in that regard. It's not me trying to rag on him. Obviously, it's not. It's the truth.
He had his whole ass leg broken in half last season. You're like, oh, just walk it off.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I hope he gets it right, though. If it were up to me, I'd be starting him, too, if you want me to be completely honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't start Gio Lopez if I was in North Carolina. But then again, I don't want to coach North Carolina either. That's a fucking train wreck.
Exactly. All right, next up, shout out to, these guys, these dummies. Again, Ohio State gets another one, 34-0. Over the Wisconsin defense. And I say the Wisconsin defense because the offense is no longer existing. We just call it the Wisconsin Badgers defense. They should just rename it because the offense is no longer a factor. They just do not exist in any capacity.
Oh, God. Second straight shutout in a row for the Badgers. The beating will continue until morale improves.
Well, morale improves by getting rid of a head coach, but that's from
the Ohio State hit standpoint, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Mm-hmm.
Say the line, Red. What line, Red?
Uh-oh.
What line? What line do I need to say, Elotron?
Yeah. All right. Well,
fuck Ryan Day.
It's perhaps the truth, maybe. All right, so shout out to some of the teams that are still undefeated. Indiana's still undefeated after beating Michigan State 38-13. A&M, Texas A&M, they had a scare. They had a scare against Arkansas. Final score 45-42, but they do prevail. They finished undefeated. What I do know is that Arkansas, you see what they've done against Tennessee, A&M, and some of the other teams that they've played. They're getting somebody this year. Bobby Petrino is getting somebody. I don't know who, but it's going to be somebody. Somebody's going to feel the wrath of the pigs. Oink oink.
They're gonna get somebody, and then Petrino's gonna get another job. Like that's because that's what college football needs. It's Bobby fucking Petrino and gainfully employed as head coach support some poor fucking football team. God damn it! I thought we were finally rid of him.
Nope. Never. Shout out to the Duckies of Oregon. They're bowl eligible after beating up on the Fighting Greg Schianos. Rutgers is now 0-4 in the Big Ten. Another down year for the Scarlet Knights with expectations they didn't even know they had. So tough break there for them. Shout out to the Jackets of Georgia Tech. The Kings, Haynes King, the king of the ACC, 27-18 win as an underdog for whatever reason on the road against the Fighting Manny Diaz's.
I don't know why they thought they were underdogs. Like, that makes no goddamn sense to me. Who the fuck was booking that in Vegas?
I don't know, but it seemed like a steal right there, and it was the truth. Tech wins by multiple scores.
Damn right.
Shout out to Notre Dame. They win against their bitter rival USC and continue to win. You know, they started out 0-2. They've won 5 straight since, and somehow they're number 13. As long as they keep winning, something tells me they're going to find a way to BS themselves back right into the playoff conversation. And they appear to be doing just that, despite the low-quality effort from C.J. Carr in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's just because they beat a ranked USC. Simply put, that was really the only ranked team they have remaining on their schedule. Everybody else is unranked. There wasn't going to be another chance for them to get a quality win, so they needed to have this one in more than one way. But you want to talk about undeserving. This is about as undeserving as it fucking gets. I know Jeremiah Love, great game, played his ass off in the driving rain, and as we all know, Lincoln Riley is a fucking fraud. So
especially on defense,
and especially on offensive plays, drawing up trick plays in the fucking rain. What the hell's the matter with you? Didn't you watch the Texas A&M game? Yeah, that's how you beat Notre Dame. The fuck.
Brent Gap 248 with the 2 says, "Damn it, USC, you had one job."
Yeah, my girlfriend's
not like it is.
She's fucking pissed.
Yeah, I'd be rationally pissed too. Shout out to these people, Missouri Electric and the Missouri Tigers. At least I get to still say that they're now 6-1, get to bowl eligibility despite Bo Pribula and his terrible game. Hardy Ball did not go well for him. He still scored 2 touchdowns, but thanks to Auburn being Auburn, they find a way to come out in the clutch in the heat of the night, and that's exactly what they did.
Can't blame the refs this time, Hugh Freeze. You fucked this one up, buddy, big time.
Mm-hmm. Especially in overtime when the lights got the hottest, they crashed, just completely crashed on offense.
Indeed.
Daggum, hate to see it. I mean, not really. I mean, it's Hugh Freeze.
I was gonna say you don't have any mercy for the fucking War Eagles. Like, come on, man.
No. Shout out to Oklahoma. They found their stride once again. John Mateer, with a half-broken hand, finds a way to get the W over South Carolina. The Lords of practice, as Shane Beamer would put it. He said in the press conference last week that they would get things right and straightened out after that 3-3 start, just like last year. Well, things have not gone the way you wanted to, and now the heat is really on them because, Mike Shula is about as useful as a sandpaper condom when it comes to coaching offense. So can't ever get things right with that.
Hey, Shane Beamer, just don't forget, no pressure. If you lose your job at South Carolina, Virginia Tech's hiring, okay? It'll be like a homecoming for you. You'll be fine. You'll land on your feet in Virginia Tech. Blacksburg awaits.
Yep. Shout out to Virginia, despite the very, very big scare, just like what Ole Miss had against Washington State. They hold on in the very end to get the W over Wazoo to go 6-1, and they will be going to a bowl as well. South Florida, so I can say the same thing about them. They beat Florida Atlantic 48-13. Barium Brown, not the best day, but he did have 3 touchdowns. So
indeed, didn't have to have the best day. They were playing at Florida Atlantic, for God's sake. That's the doormat of Florida.
Yep. Big stunner right here. Probably one of the biggest ones of the week. Memphis, what in the hell happened to you? You get to bowl eligibility, 6-0, one of the first teams to do it, and then you go on the road to a coachless UAB and fall off a cliff. So shout out to the Blazers at the bare minimum, but we had a lot of hope in you, Memphis. We had a lot of hope in you. Not anymore.
It's extremely obvious now what the problem with UAB really was, and we already knew this, but Trent Dilfer was the whole fucking problem with the Blazers, just point blank. He was a fucking cancer, and it has been removed.
Seems to be the case. Shout out to the Bearcats of Cincinnati ever since their week 1 loss to Nebraska. All they've been doing is winning ever since, 6 straight, and they won another one against the braiding amoeba of Oklahoma State at 49-17. They're now bowl eligible. Brendan Sorsby seems to be improving week by week, and they're as close to anybody else is at winning the Big 12.
Yeah, they're right there, right behind BYU. I think they got as good of a chance to go to Arlington as they do right now, but they got to play BYU at some point on the road here on the schedule, and it's going to be a big fucking game when that happens. So I'm cautiously optimistic for the Bearcats. I cheer for them. I'm from Cincinnati, so I respect them. I like them, but I'm not a big fan of them just because I'm a Buckeye first. But yeah, no, hey, you know what? Go Bearcats and see what the hell you could do if you could somehow sneak your way to a playoff spot. That the city would go nuts because there's literally nothing else here right now. Joe Burrow is dead. The Reds were eliminated by the Dodgers in 2 games. We have FC Cincinnati is going to play Columbus in the first round of the MLS playoffs. We might get smoked. So we got fucking nothing at this point, man. We need the Bearcats to do something here.
Hate to see it. And I know you hate to see this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Shout out to Michigan. I don't know what happened to the Washington offense over this past weekend, but one of the hottest offenses of what it looked like with Damon Williams just came up flat. Wasn't able to ever get it together. Michigan goes up 24 to nothing, and then that just pretty much, even with the garbage time, it was 24-7. My bad. But it was still, there was no way Washington was ever going to come back. It was a garbage touchdown that they had, and that was the only thing that they got. So Michigan defense comes through in the clutch. The victors were hailed on that particular moment. Okay, we're put down the finger. We're moving on. Houston, the Cougars, bowl eligible as well, 31-28. They get the big W over Arizona. Ethan Sanchez, the absolute myth and legend of the Houston Cougars, once again comes through in the clutch for him, despite Noah Fafita having the game of his life. So unfortunately, they couldn't come through in there. But Bearcats still do get to win there, and they move on to getting bowl eligible as well.
Cool,
cool, and good.
Cool and good. I'm still a little pissed off that we had to give Michigan compliments. So
yeah, I did. You just sat there with your finger up like you were pouting.
Yeah,
because you know what's coming in the final week of the season. But
yeah, a full-on massacre of the Wolverines. We are gonna put each one of their body parts into separate body bags, throw them in the volcano, seal the volcano, load it up with C4, blow that bitch up, collect the ashes, fire them in a rocket, piss on it, then launch the rocket, crash it into the moon, piss on the fucking moon, then blow the moon up. I'm perfectly sane, by the way.
And then you woke up. Yep. All right. Well, shout out to TCU. They beat Baylor 42-36 in a really, really fun Big 12 style rivalry. And unfortunately, Sawyer Robinson, despite putting everything he had in the final moments, was not able to come through in the clutch with the backup or with the comeback. And well, they come up short. So shout out to UCF, Central Florida. 45-13 W over West Virginia, and the coaches having a second 10-year bowl. And, well, yeah, West Virginia's in a real bad way right now. That's all I can really say. 0-4 in the Big 12. They look even worse off than when Neil Brown was there. Rebuilds do take a long time, but they seem to have gotten the short end of it.
Yeah, I mean, and we all knew it was going to happen this year. There's a reason when you bring back all of your alumni from 2007 to make the fans feel better. It's because what's about to happen is going to really, really suck. So no surprise here.
Yep. Shout out to, and this is how you know Clemson's washed. SMU, they beat Clemson 35-24, and not many people even knew it. Not many people even cared. That's how you know Clemson is just completely washed. They're 3-4 now, 2-3 in the conference. And if it weren't for Penn State, they would be the most washed team of this year. So really daggum hate to see it.
I didn't even know Clemson lost until yesterday. I didn't even know Clemson lost against SMU until yesterday when I was going through writing my video. I was like, oh, well, I guess that's going into rapid fire. Here you go.
Yeah. Some other teams that were bowl eligible now, Tulane, James Madison, North Texas, Hawaii, Those are some of your other teams in the G5 that are now also bowl eligible and will be mentioned on the Chaos recap, as you would expect. And also, they are bowl eligible yet, but we got to shout them out anyway. The Blue Horses of Boise State, the Maddox the Madman suddenly found his stride. 4 touchdowns against UNLV at home. The Rebels, they've been playing with fire all season long. Shout out to, once again, development with an astounding development as he went down against Boise State and UNLV's first loss of the year. There's a reason they were 6-0 and weren't even close to being ranked. It's because they've been playing with fire throughout the entirety of the season, and the fire finally caught up to them.
Indeed. Desert Rat Dan Mullen. That's what I call him. Desert Rat Dan Mullen, because he's in the desert and he's a fucking rat. His ass finally goes up in flames because Boise State says, if I can't make the playoffs, no one from the Mountain West will. And just drags UNLV to hell with them.
Yep. Shout out to the month of October for beating Maryland once again. UCLA knocks off Maryland 20-17. A game-winning field goal by Mateen Baghani. I think I pronounced that correctly. If not, then oh well. But he did get the game-winning field goal, and the Bruins get another one. 3 straight. Crazy. Stunning revelation even.
They might actually go bowling after all this mess. Could you imagine that happening?
Yeah, speaking of right. Speaking of streaks, talk about this one real quick. 4 straight losses now for Penn State. Shout out to Iowa for winning 25-24. Mark Gronowski gets the big time W, and it's a bad situation for Penn State because obviously they're not at their best right now. Ethan Grunkmeyer obviously not prepared for the position he's been put into, especially when you look at Gronowski didn't even have a good game. No, most of the effort was the passing game. I'll say the passing game was ugly. The run game was actually pretty good. 130 yards in the run.
Gronowski, one of the best FCS quarterbacks to transfer to FBS, has been playing like absolute trash all year because it's fucking Iowa. Like, that's not his fault. He plays at Iowa. They don't know how to quarterback or throw the ball. We all know this, but you don't have to do that when you're taking on a 3-legged horse with no head. That's what Penn State is at this point. They're a 3-legged horse who lost their head. Franklin's gone. Alar is gone. The players are basically zombie walking through the rest of this season at this point. It is a. I've officially announced that I'm no longer going to trash Penn State at this point because it's not fair to make fun of the dead like that. We need to speak. We need to speak kindly of the dead, not speak ill of the dead. They'll be getting the gong at the end of the season here soon enough. Their asses are absolutely toast.
Shout out to, and if you remember how this game ended up last season, this is no surprise, but shout out to Pitt. They won over Syracuse 30-13. No big surprise there. Heinz Schnell doing what he usually does, even if he didn't have a good performance. It was him, even in his worst performance, is far, far better than anything Syracuse trots out at quarterback now that we lost, now that they have Ricky Collins at the helm instead of the Jelly Bean. It's just been terror for him ever since. Not gonna get anything right there. Finally, we got 2 more. Shout out to, get this, 0-7 Oregon State finally won a football game.
You did it. You have done it. Congratulations.
Beckham indeed did it. Good job. Good job. Finally won a game.
What do you want, a fucking cookie at Lehigh? Fuck off.
Yeah, they deserve one. It may be a no away for many, but they deserve one. All right, and then finally, shout out to, yes, they did it again, everybody. And the darkest point of the night when it was 2 a.m. for the poor Noles, the Tank Noles, as we call them now, 0-4 in the ACC, by the way. Shout out to Stanford. Beats them 20-13. And something I'd like to point out here, Red, is that Stanford beat Florida State. SMU beat Clemson. Cal beat North Carolina. Those 3 teams I just listed right there were the 3 teams to reject those teams trying to enter the ACC. And the 3 of them knocked them off. I mean, that is poetic justice. It may be late. It may be far, far away. But, man, is it poetic justice, ain't it? And yes, Florida State did lose, so that's always poetic justice.
I don't want to do As the Doke Burns anymore.
The Doke is burning. You don't have a choice.
I don't want to do it.
It's on
the
fire.
The department has been called, and they won't show up.
Nope, it's too late. Fire's burning. Fire's burning. It's on fire. Everything's burning. Everything's set ablaze. You've got no choice. Have fun. Everything is set ablaze, so get to it, buddy.
I know. I've already started working on it. It's already happened. I did the voiceover last night. I just got to finish that. Oh, it's the main event of the fucking video this week, even.
Yep.
I want to end it all. I want it over.
Well, before we call it, well, yeah. Well, lock in for like a few more minutes because we got to talk about this week's games now. We've talked to you all about weekend and what happened there. Now we got to talk about this upcoming weekend. We've got some action for you. In fact, college, the season or the week actually begins tomorrow. Kennesaw State and FIU are playing tomorrow at 7.
Yeah.
Kevin with the 2 says, Ron Simmons be pissed. Damn. All right, well, let's go ahead and begin here. We're going to start out with the Friday night game, the Friday night ACC action. I'm sure everybody loves and adores. That being between the Cal Golden Bears, who are 5-2, and then the Fried Turkeys of Virginia Tech, 2-5, 1-2 in the ACC. Yeah, no, it's Virginia Tech dadgum dumpster fire.
Why are we talking about this game?
I don't know. But first off, shout out to Mia. Good old Mia with the $10 super chat, by the way. While I'm thinking about it, stay tuned for tomorrow on Squidtard, the main channel, especially on Twitch. I'm debut. Hold on. We got to go off topic for a second, Red.
Why?
Just for a second, trust me.
No, you can't. We already crashed the bus into a wall of fucking trees 5 minutes ago with my antics over here. You can't be derailing us now.
We're gonna crash it again. In fact, we're gonna crash it. We're gonna crash it even harder because guess what? Through some convincing, I have done something extremely cursed. Tomorrow on Squidtard, my main channel, and also on the Twitch, which I recently started, I'm debuting my VTuber model.
I'm leaving.
See ya. Bye. Have a good time.
Damn it! Oh, Squid, I liked you, man.
Brother, I haven't been lost. I have been found.
Found by who? The FBI?
Perhaps.
God.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, all that to say, stay tuned for that. There you go. That's my wicked announcement of the week.
Wicked is right.
That's for certain. All right, gentlemen and ladies, let's roll back into it, shall we? Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
A hellacious show to come back on. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's okay. It's gonna be hard to get back on track now that I mentioned that, but let's try it anyway.
There's no fucking track anymore. It has been nuked. Literally, the USS Wisconsin was over the horizon. Said, "Hey guys, you see that train track there? Yeah, I don't want to. Roger that. Getting rid of the train track."
We're about as on track on this show as Purdue is. So let's try that again, shall we? Okay. Virginia Tech, 2-5, 1-2 in the ACC, going up against the Golden Bears of Cal. Just tell me who you think's gonna win, dadgummit.
The Meteor. Fuck it, I don't care anymore.
I mentioned one thing about becoming a VTuber, and now he's just giving up on life.
No,
buddy, your team's 7-0.
No, you don't understand. First, we had to compliment Michigan. Then we had to talk about Florida State, and I had to relive the trauma of making As the Doke Burns again. Then you announce you become a fucking VTuber, for God's sake. And yet, for some reason, we're talking about this pile of shit.
It's a great game.
Holy
Great game. Great game right here. Well, anyway, yeah. Golden Bears winning this game. Yeah. Wait, you got Virginia Tech winning?
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Just Virginia Tech win by because of sheer insanity.
Well, I mean, they are favored they're favored by 4.5. So keep that in mind. I don't know why, but no, I've got Cal. I've got Cal in this one. I don't see a scenario where they blow it.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the algorithm falls to the big turkey balls of Virginia Tech. I don't know.
I mean, Cal can fuck this up pretty hard. We all know what Cal is capable of doing.
Good. They absolutely could. All right, moving on here. Oh, shoot. I keep turning off the screen share. I just need to remove it from the. Okay, here it is. Once again, UCLA. They're on a 3-game winning streak, but they're going up against the absolute gauntlet of death in the Hoosiers of Indiana. You think they've got any possible shot of winning this one?
No. Negative on that one, partner. Indiana is going to absolutely beat the piss out of the golden color of the UCLA Bruins. It is not even close. Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback, I think, in college football right now. Probably, if he's not up there, he's one of the top 3. And UCLA, they've had a pretty good run the last couple of weeks. They've ran off a bunch of wins, but here's the thing: Indiana's not fraudulent. They're just not. And they're playing at home in Bloomington, and that's a tough-ass place to play when it's filled, and it's going to be filled. So give me the Hoosiers by a lot.
Okay. Sorry. No. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, I'm great.
The hell was did the demon of Halloween get in your fucking throat or something?
No, I think the VTuber's taking over.
Move on. Move the fuck on.
Hoosiers win. Hoosiers win big. Not even a competition. But I mean, I don't know. Nico might do something funny.
I mean, hey, you can always count on 3 things: the sun rising, taxes, and Nico doing some stupid shit.
Mm-hmm. Syracuse, Georgia Tech's on here, but since Georgia Tech is 7-0, and the ACC has chosen them to be the golden boy of the conference per se, I'm taking the Piss Jackets over Syracuse, especially since Syracuse's quarterback situation is they don't have one. They've just got no quarterback.
They're a mess. Syracuse is just going to get their asses whipped on Saturday. They beat Clemson, but at what cost?
Mm-hmm. Right. Nico was hurt, but he got back up, and I think for what it's worth, I think he is cleared. All right, next up, you got a top 15 SEC ball matchup between 2 6-1 teams. Number 8 Ole Miss against number 13 Oklahoma. The Sooners are coming in as 4.5-point favorites at home against the Rebels right here. I will say this is a great quarterback matchup. Trinidad Chambliss and John Mateer. I don't know how much more healthy Mateer can get before this matchup, but the fact that they're hosting them at home at noon, I think this is going to be a great one. I really don't know where to go with this. Why don't you tell me?
I'm going to tell you that I think this is going to go either one of 2 ways. Either this is going to be Ole Miss's get-right game, and they're going to expose Oklahoma as fraudulent because of Mateer being, probably still playing hurt, or since they're playing in Norman, right? Yeah, they're playing in Norman. Since they are playing in Norman, we do know what happens at the Palace on the Plains. I genuinely think Oklahoma has a better than good shot of getting the win here. So it's going to be close, but I think Oklahoma pulls this one out.
All right, then. Yeah, no. I have to say I agree with you on that one. To me, Chambliss has sort of been struggling a bit as of lately. And up against this Oklahoma defense, which has been lights out throughout the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, they've had a red hot defensive performance. I think they're going to put Chambliss in a lot of trouble here. And while I do think they're going to score some points, I think when they shut down the run game, Ole Miss's offense they're going to start to stagnate a bit. And it also could be a scenario like what Nebraska had, to where all the coaching stuff, especially with Kiffin, entertaining it like he does on Twitter, it might cause for a little bit of distraction. So give me the Sooners, and to me, I think they win. I think they win by 2 scores.
I think it's a little closer than that. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be another hard-nosed SEC contest. But after that game against Georgia, I don't know, man. I don't think Ole Miss has the gas in the tank, like you mentioned, to get this one out. But we could be surprised. We couldn't be
surprised. Well, this is probably if it weren't for Memphis blowing it against UAB, this would be probably the most entertaining G5 match we've seen in a long time. Now, it's still going to be a great game. We got number 18, South Florida, on the road against 6-1 Memphis. And if I had to guess, I bet you the Tigers got to be at least a little angry about blowing that game against a coachless UAB team. And they're coming in. They're coming in here as 4.5 dogs against South Florida. And I'll tell you what, if Memphis is able to pull this one off, the entire G5 just goes into shambles, because South Florida is the obvious and clear front runner. I don't think there's any debate about that. So if they go down, oh boy. But I think Marion Brown holds on. I think they run all over Memphis's defense. I think they get the dub.
I would agree, although I would love to see the entire group of 5 implode over this, because then who's left at the top? Fucking Navy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing their best ball either.
This got clipped on Twitch, but I was talking about how there was it would be absolutely insane that a unranked team gets into the playoffs, and it would be stuff like this to where we could actually see that scenario happen.
Yeah, no, it could absolutely, I think, happen at this rate, considering that the American is really the only conference that'll likely produce the group of 5 playoff contender. UNLV was really the Mountain West's only hope, and they just fell by the sword against Boise State, who fell by the sword against USF, right? So you look at simple math there. South Florida is by far the clear and obvious runaway favorite for the group of 5 spot, but they got to continue to win in order for that to happen, and they got to win the American in order for that to happen. And unfortunately for them, a certain naval base would like to have a very strong word about this shit as well. So keep an eye out on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You said it best. All right. Well, oh boy, who would have ever thought in a million years that this matchup would be worthy of College Game Day? But here we are. Number 15, Missouri. Number 10, let's say that again. Number 10, Vanderbilt. Oh, my goodness. What a game we got here. Commodores are a 2.5-point favorite at home against the Tigers. And this is a really tough one. This is a really tough one to call for me. And I think it's going to come down to how well Hardyball is going to be able to run against this Vanderbilt defense. And I think they're going to do just enough to shut him down. There's something about Pavia in these close games. And I think while it will be close, I think Pibula is going to make a few plays. I think Vandy's defense is also going to make some big plays, to the point that I think they're going to hold on and get the jump on him. And I think the Commodores are going to advance to 7-1. That's what I got.
I agree with you. I saw how Mizzou played against Auburn last week, and they did not look good against the Tigers. They really didn't. Hardy was kind of pretty much rendered almost ineffective for most of the game. Bo Pribula can only do so much. He's played at times. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, but these last couple of games, as we've gotten into the meat of conference play, he's really fallen down. But it would seem like Diego Pavia has only gotten stronger the deeper we get into the season. Vanderbilt's got the momentum. They got the players. They got the tactic. I got the Commodores. I think that this is going to be another statement win for Vanderbilt. It's really going to strengthen their case to be in the running. I don't know about that. I would like to think SEC championship, because obviously you look at the standings there on the far right side of your screen. That's going to change a lot before it's all said and done. You know, Alabama is not going to stay. It's only 6-1. A&M is probably isn't going to run the table undefeated. Something's got to give there. Georgia and Ole Miss, they're likely to fall down a peg. Texas is not going to stay where they're at right now. They're too fraudulent. Mizzou it's possible for them to stay in the race. Oklahoma's a fucking fraudulent team, and then Vanderbilt's right at that cutoff line where I think the frauds stop and the cream begins to rise from the top. But I think you just got to wait for Texas, for Oklahoma to fall back down a little bit. I'm still waiting for A&M to wake up from this fucking dream that they've been in the last couple of weeks. We're thinking that it's 1993 and they're going to run the fucking table again. I don't think that's going to happen, but this is a hell of a spot for Vandy. I'd say if they just get to win with them, one of those 4 spots at the top of the conference, I think they're in the playoffs. Bar fucking none.
Oh, boy. Well, there you have it. You heard from the man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue, shall we? I mean, this isn't saying much, but now that we're progressing through like week 9, all these games that you're looking at here, they matter just all that much more.
It means a lot. Like, these are massive, massive contests. If you're talking, there's a lot on the line with Mizzou and Vandy. Playoffs, SEC title hopes, fucking AP playoff rankings. Because give it 2 more weeks and we're going to start seeing the college football playoff polls, and we're going to really see who the fuck is where. And that's where that's where everything's really going to begin to kind of like meet the road here. These next 2 games are going to be critical for everybody that's still in the hunt.
That's very, very true. Well, this one only matters for bragging rights, and I swear, if they do not pull this one off this year, when are they going to do it? It's the Sunflower Showdown. It's another noon kickoff. It's on TNT of all places. Kansas is coming in as a 2.5-point favorite, which I do not understand in the slightest, because if you know anything about this rivalry, then you know Kansas State is daddy in this one. I mean, they don't daddy. They're straight up grandpa. They own this rivalry completely, and they've owned it for forever. Kansas, no matter which scenario they're in, has never been able to get the jump on their rival in the Wildcats of Kansas State. But they've got home field. They've got a stronger team. They've got a better team. If they can't do it now, they're never doing it again. That's where I stand with Kansas. So give me the Jayhawks here. I choose to believe in them. I choose to believe in Jalen Daniels. This is going to be a great game in terms of quarterbacks. Jalen Daniels and Avery Johnson. Which one's going to have more rushing yards?
For real. I'll go with the Jayhawks here too, and it's just because Kansas State's starting to kind of pull their head out of their asses a little bit finally after just being cursed with the Irish curse for the better part of half of the season. So, I mean, good for the Wildcats, but give me the Jayhawks. They have shown me that they are indeed better than Kansas State, and like you said, home field advantage. They got everything on their side. They have the momentum. If they don't win this game, something catastrophically went wrong at David Booth.
Well, so we'll see. Also, I find it funny as to add some sort of insult to injury. They've got a Baylor advertisement here.
Oh,
what's the meaning? What's the meaning of that? What's that all about? That's messed up.
Hey, listen, they're taking transfers. If you ever want to leave Tennessee, just say the word. Baylor will take your ass in a heartbeat.
Brother, I have enough suffering on its own. I am not transferring my worth to a team that lost to Auburn. Let's be real.
Hey, man, listen. Baylor has the great tradition of having empty stands for all of their home games. So, hey, you got to go see it in person.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. All right, well, here's something I do know is that I think, to me, Vegas is trying to trick some people with this one. Got to be, because how else can you rationalize this one? BYU, undefeated, number 11 in the country. They're 7-0. They're traveling on the road to the big stadium of Jack Trice in Ames, Iowa, to go up against Iowa State and the Cyclones. Now, of course, Iowa State's been on a skid. They two losses in a row. And they haven't been pretty losses, I'll say that much. But here they are. The Tropical Depressions are coming in at 2.5-point favorites against BYU. So even despite the fact the Cougars are undefeated and much more highly ranked, doesn't matter. They believe in Rocco Beck to get it turned around. And to me, there's something about this one. To me, I think the chaos must be completed. I think Iowa State gets him. I think the Cyclones get him at home. I think they get the jump on the Cougars. I like Barron. I think he's going to have a good game in here, but I think Iowa State in a close one's going to hold on. Rocco Becht in clutch ball formation is going to get the Cyclones right back on track and get them to bowl eligibility. That's where I stand.
Iowa State had a bye week last week, and they needed it desperately. The reason why they've lost 2 of their games is because they've been injured to shit. So they took last week just to get healthy, quite frankly. I think the fact that they did get that open week to heal and to rest up is what's going to carry them here. They're going to get a couple of guys back from injury, I'm pretty sure, here in this game. It's not going to be the same Iowa State team that lost to Prime Colorado here. BYU is going to be in for a tough one. It's not easy to go into Jack Trice. If you had said that 20 years ago, you would have been laughed off the fucking earth. But these days, Iowa State is not an easy team to go up against. It's going to be a tough one. I'm with you. I got the Cyclones getting the upset because Big 12 chaos. It's BYU is going to stumble. They're not going to go 12-0. There's no fucking way with the schedule they have. They're either going to stumble here, or they're going to stumble against Tech, or they're going to stumble against Cincinnati, or a combination of all of those. But this is where I think it begins. This is going to be the first, it's easy to beat Utah when you got about 60,000 screaming Mormons yelling for you. It's another thing when you go into the middle of Iowa and you got a bunch of whiskey drunk fucking cornheads yelling at you and telling you to go fuck yourself. It's going to be a real test for the Bear. I got Iowa State winning it.
All right, well, there you have it. Both of us seem to agree that Iowa State is going to get the upset, not an upset.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, yeah.
It's not. Iowa State's really good. They've had some bad luck this season. If it wasn't for the injuries, they'd probably be right there with BYU.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll keep tabs on that and we'll see where it goes. That's going to be one of the more interesting watches of the week. There are a lot of games on here to where you think, no, there's no way this one's competitive. Like, for what? Oregon is hosting Wisconsin. Texas Tech is hosting Oklahoma State. Alabama is going to South Carolina. I don't know. I feel something about that South Carolina game makes me think that Bama's going to have a lot of trouble. I don't know. There's just something to me about that one. But it's at 3:30. If it was a night game, I'd feel way more comfortable picking South Carolina maybe for some sort of upset, but not at this moment in time. No, not a chance.
I think this game against Alabama is going to be the one that really sets off the the express of Fire Beamer. The Fire Beamer train is going to leave the station.
It's going to turn on the heat.
This one's going to turn on the heat. And it's not because they should beat Alabama. It's just because it's going to be how many losses in a row. How many fucking times are you going to lose before people start screaming for heads? Mm-hmm. This is. I don't think that necessarily Bam is just going to go in and wipe the floor with South Carolina. It could be a trap game. Those are always something sneaky. They just got done beating 4 ranked opponents in a row. It's easy to think this one could get overlooked, but the odds that happens right now with how focused they've been, the fire under that ass of theirs. I got Bama doing a 2-score win on this one, and the Beamer Express is going up north to Blacksburg, Virginia, baby.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of hot seats and fires getting hot, there's a big fire getting hot down in Baton Rouge. I'll tell you that much. So they desperately need some sort of life back in their hands. And what better time to do it than to knock off undefeated number 3 Texas A&M. The Aggies have had a phenomenal season up till this point. Mike Elko has really gotten the ship turned around ever since, of course, the ending of the Jimbo Fisher era. Seems things are panning out really well for him, but they've got a big challenge coming up against LSU. Now, this LSU team obviously has had their problems, but this environment that they're going into is the single most scary place to play at this time. 7:30 kickoff against LSU in Baton Rouge, the single scariest place to play at. Because here's the thing: if this were a noon game, I'd take A&M any day of the week. Because like the noon slate, they don't do anything. LSU just sits there and dies. There's 12 people in the crowd. They aren't even drunk yet at that point. 3:30, okay, maybe I don't know. It's still kind of a joke. 7:30 under the lights. This stadium is an absolute menace. But there are definitely a lot of fans that are going to be cheering for Texas A&M just in spite of Brian Kelly and BK good old Burger King. But that's not. They're going to be so drunk they might not even know who to cheer for. So all that to say, this is going to be a very scary environment for A&M to play in. Who you got?
Give me A&M, and it's just simply because LSU is flopping like a fish right now. They have been lost as fucking puppies these last couple of weeks, and they just have not gotten it together. Nussmeier's regression at quarterback is fucking disturbing for me to look at. The defense, whatever good things I had to say about that defense at the start of the season is long gone, bro. It's long fucking gone. They cannot get the offense working at all. They cannot get this fucking thing together on both sides of the ball. And you want to talk about another train that could be leaving the station? I think the Brian Kelly train could be fucking taken off here in really short order if they lose this one. I think this is the game that's going to really start getting some heads rolling over there in Death Valley. Give me the Aggies. It's going to be close, but A&M has won close games this season. Look at the game against Notre Dame, and you could tell me that. So, I mean, they're familiar with hostile environments. I think they'll be fine.
Well, I'm going to say this. Somebody said Death Valley is an overrated environment. Yeah, but Matty Sims, come on, man. You're only saying that because Bama beat them in there. That's it. No. Here's the thing. I will say this. I think LSU's crowd is going to keep them in it for probably a half, and then I think A&M's going to run away with it. Usually, I'd favor LSU in this match because of that home crowd. But in this scenario, it's just too hard for me to do that. I don't think that LSU defense, especially with the offense just collapsing as it has been, is going to be able to do enough to A, keep Marcel Reed in track and keep him from scoring too much, and then B, score enough on their own defense to make sure that they're going blow for blow and getting the jump on them. I don't think they're going to get both ends of the to meet there. And however it goes, whether it's low scoring or a shootout, I think A&M is going to get the jump on them, and I think the Aggies are going to win against LSU.
Yeah,
and that's a shame too, because my dad's side of the family they're all LSU fans, so I want LSU to win for that reason. But at the same time, all the closer to BK getting fired is good news for a lot of people.
I'll be right back.
All right, well, while you're gone, I'm going to go ahead and take it upon myself to cover the game that Red absolutely does not want to cover. In fact, I don't think anybody wants to cover this, but we got to cover it anyway because it features my stupid-ass team. And they were certainly stupid last week against Alabama. Self-inflicted wounds on the road as per the usual. What scares me the most about this game is that it's also a night game on the road. And it's just a recipe for disaster. Now it's Kentucky, who's 0-4 in the SEC. And one thing that's for sure is kind of you have to treat this the same way that you do the Kansas State game. And that's this, this is a game, this is a rivalry that Tennessee has basically owned, no matter which way you could say it. It seems to be more of a mentality thing for Kentucky and their players that they just cannot seem to get over the hump against Tennessee. And whether or not that repeats again this year, I don't know. Tennessee's coming in as a 9.5-point favorite. That's a pretty low spread considering the fact that Tennessee is just that much of a better team than Kentucky is. But if the Vols are worth anything, they should be able to win this game. Something tells me they're going to make Cutter Boley look pretty good in hindsight because they always do it. Every single Kentucky quarterback that's battled against Tennessee last year, the year before, they found a way to make them look good while also losing. And I think that'll repeat this time. I'm sure Cutter Boley somehow going to get like 200 passing yards or however many rushing yards. But I think Tennessee is going to, at least at the bare minimum, they're going to win the ball game. They have to. They have to. The talent fee is back. The talent fee is back on offense. If this Tennessee offense is worth a hoo-ha, they should be able to score on a Kentucky defense like this one. The problem is the offensive line. I think they're probably gonna let Kentucky get a few sacks on Aguilar. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. But Tennessee, if anything, Tennessee should win this game. And if they don't, then not only is Heupel not the coach I thought he was, the dude is a snake oil salesman, and I don't think that's the case. All right. Well, Red, you got anything to say about this one?
Oh boy. This will probably be Tennessee's get right game if I had to guess.
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all. That's all we gotta say. Go Vols. Go big orange. Pray for the best.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers and pray. That's all you can say.
Yes, sir.
There are a couple of other ones here. Houston, Arizona State. That's going to be a pretty good one. Considering that's a very big Big 12 brawl between two running teams in the conference there at 8:00. You got Houston or Arizona State in that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston in that one. I think Arizona State's kind of been able to jump back a little bit, but Houston might be the worst 6-1 team in college football, but they are 6-1.
They are indeed 6-1, and you guys are on a bye again, right?
Yeah, I think we're off this week. Yeah, because we got Penn State November 1st. Poor fuckers.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh boy, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be ugly.
Lord have mercy on us because of the things we're about to do to that poor fucking team. They got to come to Ohio Stadium too.
All right. Well, the generous super chat will cover any other games that you guys want us to cover. But other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's a great show. We went well over on this one, but it was a jam-packed week this week. We didn't really seem to have much of a choice other than to go overboard with it.
Yeah, I mean, we went overtime. We went into like quadruple overtime here, but it was worth it because there was a ton to get into and to unpack. But yeah. I think it's going to be similar next week too, because it's going to be a tough weekend for a lot of teams, and I think there's going to be some surprising results after this. So I'm looking forward to this weekend for sure.
Yeah, well, all this to be known, there's only one constant in college football, and that's certainly the idea of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be a week without chaos in college football. And as the weeks progress onward, as we get into November, there's just only going to be more chaos. And I guess next week I'll probably wear my mustard costume as we're getting into Halloween season very, very soon. So prepare for that.
Yeah, buddy.
And, get yourself a good horror movie to watch, even if it's just Wisconsin playing football. Get yourself a good horror movie. And watch it on the behalf of us here at the FBS Report. Red, you got anything else to say before we wrap it up?
I'll be back on stream this week. Took 2 weekends off for family and fun, and I will be back this week still picking out the game I'm going to do, but I will be live for a football game on stream this week. Be on the lookout for that. And week 8 chaos should be out Wednesday on YouTube. I think I'm going to get that out on time for once. Subject to change. We'll see what happens, but it should be out by Wednesday morning. So,
and college football chaos should follow soon afterwards. I'll let you guys know if there are any updates to that. Also, enjoy all the hair here on my head while it lasts, because I'm getting this cut big time tomorrow. So
it looks like he's got to have an AA meeting.
Okay. Way to throw that. Now, why don't you take your hat off, buddy?
I mean, Napoleon's army never retreated so fucking hard as mine.
Oh my goodness.
The forehead's bigger than Peyton Manning at this point. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. I'm 30. I'm a man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's farther back than the Ohio State offensive line going up against a Michigan D line.
Yeah. 2 things. 1, fuck you. 2, try to 5 years in a row and have 2 kids in the process. See what the hell happens to your hair.
All right. Well, I'll take you up on that offer when that day comes. Yeah. Well, guys, I will be streaming every single week or every single day from this point onward. The only day I'll take off of streaming is Sunday. So to give you an idea, the rest of the schedule will be live on Twitch at 7:00 every single day from this point onward. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday, I will also be live. I'll be live. I think the game starts at 7:45, so I'll do the night slate. Start the stream at 7 as per the usual. So every stream from this point onward for me is going to be around 7:00, including the Saturday night football stream. And also, Red, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do a members only stream. and it'll probably be for the 3:30 slate. So if you guys aren't a member of Squidtard Sports and would like to see my reaction to the 3:30 games, become a channel member for Squidtard, and well, that'll probably happen. All right, guys. Well, thank you all again for watching. Great episode of the FBS Report. Thank you, Red, for tuning in, post or sickness. And I will see you guys next week, as per the usual. So until next time, love y'all. Peace to you. And as always, power to Tardaria.
The best temperature to cook your pork loin at is 140 to 145 degrees in the oven. Remember that. Have a good week, guys.